Teotihuacan, Mexico. Dating back to at least the 1st century AD, this ancient complex was once the largest city in Mesoamerica, with a population of 125,000. One of the most sacred temples at the site is the Temple of the Feathered Serpent, an enormous step pyramid dedicated to the god Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, goes all the way back to Olmec times, to the BCE period. But the first place that we really see Quetzalcoatl is in Teotihuacan, the city just north of modern Mexico City. They build an actual pyramid, a temple of Quetzalcoatl, right around 250 AD. So it's probably Teotihuacan who really put forward the idea and the identity of Quetzalcoatl as a deity for the rest of Mesoamerica.
Quetzalcoatl was a creator god. He was associated with the planet Venus. He brought the rain, he brought water, he brought civilization, he brought the arts. This was the creator divinity for the Aztec culture. It was a flying serpent, it was a dragon.
Quetzalcoatl brought peace, harmony, and high wisdom, and a very high level of intelligence and teaching to this particular land. He was often depicted as a human being as well. He arrived on a raft of serpents and settled on these lands.
Quetzalcoatl also shows up in the post-classic Maya city of Chichen Itza. But they give him a Maya name. They call him Kukulkan, which is basically the holy feathered serpent in Maya.
The ancient Mayan city of Chichen Itza lies roughly 900 miles east of Teotihuacan, and at its center stands another massive step pyramid, this one dedicated to the Mayan version of the flying serpent, Kukulkan.
In Chichen Itza, there we have the Pyramid of Kukulkan, and every year on the 23rd of March, you see, when the sun is going up, some lights and shadows, like triangles, climbing down the stairway, exactly the stairway where his head is on. And on the 21st of September, you see the opposite, Kukulkan, disappears, and it's only made by light and shadow of the natural sun. So still today, the message is clear. God Kukulkan has descended to the humans. He taught them for a certain period, and then he disappeared again.
So right there we have living mythology in a structure that shows this deity descending from the sky in stone.
You wonder if perhaps a craft landed here, and this light shadow effect of a serpent making its way descending down the staircase and then emerging through a serpent head is a recollection of that original event.
Is it possible that the Pyramid of Kukulkan was not built to honor a mythical dragon god, but to commemorate the arrival of an extraterrestrial spacecraft? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and suggest this isn't the only dragon-themed structure that marks a location of alien contact. Evia, Greece. The landscape of this small Greek island is spotted with 25 mysterious megalithic structures called dragon houses.
The main dragon house is at the very top of one of the tallest mountains on the island called Mount Ohi. Mount Ohi comes from the word ohivare, which means to descend and to drive. And so this is interesting because, according to legend, the reason why the dragon house exists at the top of Mount Ohi is because Zeus allegedly descended from the heavens on top of that mountain.
According to local legend, these stone structures were built by a giant dragon to venerate the god Zeus. In ancient Greece, the word dragon was not only used to describe a flying monster, but also gods and other figures that had human-like form but possessed superhuman powers.
Now, when you put all this together, this sounds like the Dragon House is a meeting place of heaven and earth. In UFO vernacular, that would be a landing spot.
In my opinion, the Dragon was the craft out of which then the creator people or the teachers emerged. Our ancestors, basically, they saw a crew coming out of an airplane.
According to ancient astronaut theorists, some of the structures themselves serve as evidence that this was a place of extraterrestrial contact. The Dragon House on top of Mount Ohi contains megalithic blocks weighing up to 10 tons and sits at an elevation of almost 5,000 feet.
Archaeologists have a hard time explaining why it was even built there, because we are talking of this gigantic megalithic structure with a ceiling that contains blocks that are up to 10 feet long, 2 feet thick, at an altitude of 5,000 feet. How was that done? In my opinion, this was an extraterrestrial visitation where Zeus may have descended in his craft and built a day camp.